Test on one day. India, England, Australia. What a player! What a player! What a player!
Welcome back, everybody, to Waadaplaya Concussion Sub-Series Fantasy Tips. Today we are going to preview and also provide you fantasy tips for a new cricket series. And we are going all over the world. This time, South Africa touring Ireland for a limited over series. And to give tips for that and to preview, we got Akash, Vishak, and Syed after a long time back on our show. Welcome, Syed. Akash and Vishak, how are you?
Good, Suman. Brilliant.
Excellent. Ireland. Again, will we have a name pronunciation competition or what are we going to learn today? Take it away.
I think the Irish names are pretty much decent. They're plain English at least. So in that terms, we are pretty safe out here. But from a cricketing perspective, I think Ireland has a very big challenge facing South Africa, especially after South Africa's performance against the West Indies. They have an uphill task to climb out here. 3 ODIs, 3 T20s. South Africa would ideally want to whitewash in both the formats, but let's hope that Ireland can give them a tough fight at home.
Syed, are you looking forward for this series? What are your expectations? Temba Bumwa captain, and then Ireland coming off. I think they're playing after a long while. They played Afghanistan and Netherlands last.
I think from a South Africa standpoint, it will be an important series for them to test what is going to be their squad for World T20, because last series with West Indies, nobody gave them a chance, but somehow they won the series, right? And what is going to happen is this series they need to cement or they need to finalize what is going to be their playing 15. And one challenge again is going to be for the captain, the new captain. I personally feel he's not fitting in anywhere from a limited over standpoint, but somehow he has to come back and show the selectors or the management that he is fitting that captain role in the team as a player as well as the captain. So overall for South Africa, it's a very important series. From an Ireland standpoint, this is part of the point system for their World Cups. So they'll be very keen. We know that Kevin O'Brien had retired recently. So the middle order is a little vulnerable there. So probably they will try to test new players coming in. So it will be an interesting series, but I think as Akash said, it's going to be probably a whitewash series for South Africa.
One thing I would be interested in seeing in how South Africa's middle order shapes up. If you see even the last series in West Indies, right, it was the middle order which was the weak point. Except Van der Dussen, nobody else seems to perform there in the middle order. Mainly in the ODI, mainly in the limited overs format. So they would be mainly seeing how they can figure out their middle order so that before the T20 World Cup that can be settled.
Lots to play for. Couple of questions, Vishak, for you. One, what is Super League? And second, I'm also surprised to see South Africa at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, after this 2019 World Cup, a new league was started. So just like the World Test Championship, this ODI league was started. So except the home team, the rest of the teams have to fight for the spots, and the top some 8 or 9 teams get an automatic qualification. That's what it is. So for each game they play, and they win. For each match they win. As part of the series, they get allotted certain points. If you see, currently England is at the top with around 65 points, followed by Bangladesh. So that's how and India even is at around 7th or 8th position. But since we are the home team, I think we have got an automatic qualification.
Alright, so how is the fantasy team coming up for the first game?
Sorry, from a series perspective, I think it's pretty simple from an Ireland fan perspective. What to expect from their team. All they need is show good fight. Winning or not winning is a secondary part for them. These exposures don't come, too frequently for them. Facing teams like Afghanistan and Netherlands has been a normal day thing for them. But facing somebody like a South Africa or an Australia or India, that is the bigger challenge for them. If they can step up and at least give a fight, I think that is what will be satisfactory from an Ireland fan perspective. Don't discount them; it's their own home conditions. But I would say don't expect too much either, because South Africa on their own are pretty good as they've shown against West Indies. So from a series perspective, I expect a whitewash, both ODI and T20.
In Ireland still has to get a lot of exposure. They're still a young side, and some of their main players have already retired, like Niall O'Brien, Kevin O'Brien. Both have retired. Dale O'Brien has retired from all cricket, and Kevin O'Brien has retired from ODIs. So I think they will have an inexperienced squad. So they still, and they don't get much exposure. The likes of Afghanistan, Ireland, these teams, they don't get much exposure to play against the top sides. So actually, they would treat this as a good exposure to play a top side and learn from them. So I'm going with Akash on a 3-0 whitewash on both the series.
I think it will be pretty much a one-sided series, but I would expect that one game where we all wanted that close finish and probably will be a last over, final over finish kind of a thing. So probably one game out of the 6 games we could probably see a thriller finish.
Okay, let's hope Ireland puts up some fight. It'll be good for cricket if they come through and win a couple of games.
Last year they did an unexpected thing against England. So if they do something similar, it would be great for Irish cricket.
Okay, much awaited fantasy team.
Yeah, if you look at the fantasy team out here, we have predominantly picked South Africa players as we are predicting them to get over Ireland in this series. Going with wicketkeeper first, it's going to be Quinton de Kock. No doubts there. He's the captain of the team. And since losing his captaincy, giving away his captaincy, he seems to be back into this old form, of scoring big runs as well. So we're hoping him to shine again, and he's going to be the captain of this side. Followed by Van der Dussen, who is the brilliant middle order batsman, consistent batsman. He's going to be there. Markram showed us what he can do in the final T20 against West Indies. He took the game away from West Indies, and we are expecting him to perform well in this match as well. Followed by the Ireland captain, Balbirnie. He's a key player along with Paul Sterling, and we are expecting him to score runs as well. We have dropped Paul Sterling from this team only because facing guys like Rabada and Notke earlier on in the innings is going to be a little difficult. So we are going with a middle order batsman out there in Balbirnie.
From a bowling standpoint, I think it's a no-brainer, right? So currently the fastest or most smartest bowlers, Rabada and Notke. We see what they do for Delhi Daredevils, and recently concluded series also they did well. Shamshi is going to be one of the trump card. Let me tell you, because last series on slow wickets, he was the man of the series and he was brilliant the whole series, right? So we also expect him to cement his place for the T20 World Cup, and he's going to be a trump card. So this is what the team would look like.
Talking about the all-rounders, we have picked George Dockrell, who is a left-arm spinner and he's also started batting a little bit. And then George Linda from South Africa, who's the all-rounder. He did pretty well in the limited over series against West Indies. So we're going with him. Simi Singh, again a decent all-rounder, can bat and also bowls decently. And Camphor being the other all-rounder, he seems to be a new face. I think he's played in some recent games. I think he would be a good addition to the squad in the absence of Kevin O'Brien, and I think he would be one who would be looking to cement the spot.
Good to see that you guys are knowledgeable on Ireland cricket as well. What else do you not know in cricket? It is so impressive to be part of this circle. Question: we didn't pick David Miller. Any reasons why?
He doesn't seem to be in that kind of form, and facing a weak team like Ireland, your top order batsmen generally do the business. So he comes pretty late, around 6. So we're not expecting him to get a chance to bat unless they're going to bat first and he's going to get the death overs. So they're going by the fact that South Africa might bowl first and then South Africa can just chase down the target easily.
Okay. And any wild cards from Ireland outside of this team you give as a pro tip? Anybody else who can fit in?
One thing we have not picked is Paul Sterling, I think. So he can also bowl handy off spin, can strike it big at the top order. So if he gets going, it would be good for Ireland. He can give them a lightning quick start and can take the game away quickly from South Africa. The only reason why we have not picked him is he opens the batting and there is that Rabada and Notke factor. So he would be a little vulnerable there. So that's the main reason we have not picked him. But he gets going, he could be a very dangerous person.
Well, I would say these 3 all-rounders are very key for Ireland. Simi Singh, Curtis Camphor and George Dockrell. All 3 play in the middle order and all 3 bowl handy overs. So if they can do the damage, and of course the 2 seamers, young and little, if these 5 bowlers can pick up the majority of the wickets from South Africa, then maybe they can come up with a good fight in the series.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate your time and analysis on bringing this series to life. Another and lots of cricket going on, which is what makes me happy. I mean, switch on this weekend, especially the sporting weekend. So hopefully, our viewers are finding all these fantasy tips useful. Two things, important ones before we sign off. One is COVID. Please make sure you are getting vaccinated in your first available opportunity. Sanitize your hands, wear masks, and please maintain social distancing. And if things are opening up in your city, country, or location, be responsible and again make use of it in a responsible way. Similarly, show responsibility playing fantasy tips and fantasy games also. What a player and his team and the team here. We only provide for entertainment purposes. If there are any financial losses, we are not responsible or accountable for it. Vishak always tells us all the very best and win lots and lots of money. Thanks, Syed, Akash, and Vishak. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.